Hi, welcome to the Flowergod. We're going to do something with like a pond. We're going to do a rock pond with a bouquet coming out, branches hanging out over the pond. This is going to be filled up with water, so you can see the rocks in there just like if you would walk out in and see a pond. We fill this one end with floral foam, and down here we filled up with a little bit of rock. We're going to add some more to it just to kind of give it level but yet have some depth to it. Then we're going to fill it up with water because we want the water to be right at the edge of the container. That gives you that water garden look. And see, you see the water in here with the rocks. It's really tranquil. We're going to cover some of our floral foam with some of the moss again. And we're just going to use a little bit. We're not going to use a lot. Take some of your chrysanthemum stems. I'm using daisies, liatris, fujimums, and all types of different foliages, and of course your rock. Take and fold your branches over that you cut off your chrysanthemums, sharpen the points, and this acts as kind of like a pin that'll hold it down in. You don't need a lot, just want to camouflage some of your mechanics. And a couple more pieces there. Now, I've gone out and picked some magnolia branches off of a tree. And this is just to give you that garden feel. I've taken one, made it tall. Now I'm going to go over, kind of hang over the rocks to kind of give you that garden feel. Now we're going to take our liatris and we're going to come up a little higher next to our branches here, but yet our branches give you a lot of character. And we're going to make these in different heights. This is just going to be your vertical line. What I did, I stripped off some of the foliage down here. It makes the stems go in a little bit easier to your floral foam, and always give a pointed cut. And we're using different foliages. We have foxtail fern, which is really pretty. Really gives you a nice, sleek look, but it has a lot of texture to it. And we're just going to use a few of these. And I'm clustering these around the main branch and your liatris. And this is going to be more of a focal point, and then you come down to your next layer. Again, I like using all types of different foliages. These are geraniums. These give you a lot of garden feel to it. And I'm just going to cascade some of those off, kind of cover up some of your mechanics where you want to make sure everything looks pristine. And if you notice, I kept the geraniums kind of balanced in the lower end. Then you have your foxtail fern coming up higher. Now I'm using some Xanadu. This is a nice green plant that you could get from your florist or your nursery. And this is just going to be coming out of your main focal point. And this just adds another texture to your bouquet. Something a little bit more bold. And again, I'm using all types of foliage. I'm using sword fern. A lot of gardens have sword fern. This gives you that kind of an airy garden feel. And I'm just kind of using this as a backdrop to all the other foliages. And it's going to give some depth. And I'll place a little bit down in the front. It's almost like looking at it with the sword fern, kind of give you a feel of a fern plant growing out amongst all your flowers. Now I'm taking some of the the spider mums, the daisies, and I'm just going to add this as a little bit of color. I'm not using a lot of them. What I did, I've taken all the laterals off here, used one main flower. This is just going to give you a little bit of color up here. Now I'm going to do another one. I'm going to step it down just a little bit. And I'm coming more towards the front with this, and I'm going to bring it down. It's almost give you a line through here with the yellow. And another one here. These are the laterals that I've taken off earlier. I always use the laterals. It kind of gives you a shorter version of the tall. Kind of gives you a little balance. Now I'm going to use some of the green Fujis. And I'm cutting these really short. I'm going to keep these down with the rest of your foliage, give it that real garden feel. Just enough to give you a little more texture with all your greens. And I'm just going to balance this out and keep them all more or less paved towards the bottom. And see how I left the yellow behind the Fuji? It lets you see a little bit of depth because of the yellow behind it. And I'm going to add a couple of yellow daisies back here on the back to kind of finish it off. Now I've got Hawaiian Chef. I'm just going to use just a few leaves off of this branch. This again is going to give you a little more color and texture with your foliages. Daisy here to give you a little more color. Okay, and as you see, you have your rock garden, your flowers on the other end, kind of gives you that balance of nature. And there's your rock water garden.